Hey guys! So I'm a few minutes late. I'm sorry. I like to be really punctual, but it doesn't always happen. Especially when it's technology involved, because for some reason my phone was saying that I didn't have enough, a good enough connection to go live. So I had to wait a few minutes, and then I popped on my personal page to invite people, and now I'm here. Anyways, okay, so what we're going to talk about today is how to make your own almond milk in under 30 seconds. Believe it or not, it really can be that easy. If you Google how to make your own almond milk, you'll find like a bunch of ways that look really hard. And you'll think to yourself, why would anyone want to do that? And that's what I always think. I'm like, that just sounds so... I mean, I guess if you're like a very creative, like artsy, like you like being in the kitchen, then maybe it would be appealing to you. But to me, it just sounds ridiculous. Anyways. So I'm going to show you that in 1 second. And I'm also going to explain, I'll do it right now. A lot of people have questions about, is dairy really bad for you? Is dairy good? Is dairy bad? I kind of want to sit down while I talk to you, but I'm afraid I'm going to fall and hurt myself. Okay, I'll just stand. Okay, in my kitchen. Okay, so regarding dairy, there's a couple things. First of all, not the first thing is that not all dairy is created equal. And the same way that a person's health is hugely connected to what they feed themselves, so too for an animal, right? So cows that are fed horribly, I can get into details a little bit if you want to know, but let's just start with the healthy. Like a happy, healthy cow lives outside, eats green grass, gets plenty of fresh air. The milk that they give off, and then the dairy, whether you're just having the milk or you're having yogurt made from that or different kinds of cheeses, the milk itself, starting off, is a wonderful, wonderful product for a lot of people that can digest it. There's certain enzymes to digest milk that not everyone has, but for the people that do have it, they do really well on that kind of dairy. And versus, unfortunately, most conventional dairy, if I could say all conventional dairy, I mean, I hope that I'm wrong if I say all, so let's say most conventional dairy, the cows are kept indoors. Many of them like barely ever, if ever, see the light of day. They can't really move. They're kind of like squished together in really tight stalls, and they're fed at best corn and soy, both of which are definitely genetically modified. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but according to, if you just look it up yourself, I'm right. I'm right at least the vast majority of the time. And even more so, they're fed like whatever's left over. So if whatever's cheap. Hey, Diane. So if like a lot of times they'll be fed kind of like the mis-sized candy. So if they made it, like for example, recently I posted and read an article about like the cows were fed Skittles, red Skittles, that were, I think they were like deformed a little bit, so they couldn't sell them to the public, so they sell them really cheaply to the dairy farms. And anyone else who wants to say hi or comment, I love it. So that's then what those cows are eating. I've seen things of them eating gummy worms, of literally just like garbage. So the dairy that comes from those kinds of cows, I would argue you can't even really compare that to the dairy that's coming from cows that are happy and healthy and in the sun and eating grass, which their body is designed to eat. Like literally those are two different foods. So to just lump dairy all into one category and say dairy, I would say like that's not really an appropriate category to make because they're so different, right? And so that's one huge part of it. The second really, really big element is that some people really do have some compromised digestive issues, which sometimes can be worked through and sometimes can't. But one of the quickest fixes is to just, reduce or eliminate dairy, and that can help in a lot of instances. So if you find that you are constipated frequently, especially after dairy, right? Or you have a lot of gas, or you see that your kids or yourself gets a lot of ear infections, or just like kind of clogged ears, like, when you change elevations and your ears like pop, or sometimes they won't pop for a long time. If you have that feeling, even when you don't change elevation frequently, or you get just kind of like you're very mucusy, like you have that post-nasal drip, like really hot, I know. But you have that a lot, like that would also indicate that it's very likely that you have a dairy allergy. Or it doesn't have to be exactly an allergy. It could just be like you're not tolerant to it. So you're not getting super sick, but your system's not super happy with it. So one of the things you can do is you can kind of just experiment, like go off of it for a few days and see how you feel. And then you can, you know, go back a little bit and see how that goes. I'll show you, let's see. Should I show you how to make it right now? The almond milk? I'll do it right now. And then I'll answer a couple other questions. Check this out. Hold on. I think it's going to work. I feel really proud that I figured this out, so I have 2 hands. Can you see me? Look at that. Oh my God. I feel like a genius. Okay. But I even tried to prep this time so I wouldn't be set up to like fail. Dairy death. I tried to prep this time so I wouldn't have to use 2 hands, but I think I'm going to be okay because I propped it. Okay, guys, I'm a genius. Okay, here we go. So here, is my little blender. I have a little cup size one. I have a big one too, but I'm using a little one. Here is my water. So the recipe I posted, and I'll post it again, it's like 2 cups of water. Of course, you know me, I never really measure anything, except for salad dressing. I measure salad dressing. Okay, I'm putting in about 2 teaspoons. That looks like a lot, doesn't it? I don't know. I think it's fine. Again, like, it always comes out good, so it doesn't really matter. Here's my almond butter. Whee! Ploppy, ploppy, ploppy. Off the spoon. Someone can put a timer on. Maybe next time I'll get a fancy timer and we can like see that it really took under 30 seconds. Although you're supposed to blend it for a minute. So, hey Lala! And here's my cinnamon. I'm not going to add any sweetener because my family's happy without it. So I don't want to, hey Rachel! My family's happy without it, so I don't want to add sweetener and like get them used to that, but you can certainly do that if your family's into that. Okay, it's probably going to be loud for a second because I'm in the blender. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The recipe calls for a minute, but that looks good to me. I think that I wasn't lying when I said 30 seconds. That was like 10 seconds of stirring. 30 seconds altogether. Doesn't that look good? Let's see if I have a nice pretty glass. No, all my glasses are dirty, but I have a pretty bowl. I'll pour it into the pretty bowl so you can see. Yummy almond milk. Don't you feel empowered? How easy was that? I'll try it for you. It's actually really good. I actually really like that. I'll add more cinnamon for mine. Make it look like a dessert now. Let me see. See my little dessert. Can you see it? Woo! Doesn't that look pretty? Thanks, Rachel. Oh, thanks, Shira. Is a pretty bowl. I'm adorned. Oh, yes, I'm so adorned. No, I know. You meant adorable. Thank you. Anyways, how long will it last in the fridge? Really good question. I would give it about maybe 5 days. I would do the sniff test, smell it. Hi, Marta. It should be fine. I would do the sniff test. If it smells fine, I would taste it a little bit, and then I would not worry about it. You know what you probably could sneak in there also if you had, a week probably. Yeah, exactly. Good job. That's what I was going to say. Sniff test. That is what I said. Rachel, 3 weeks. Okay, I'm getting distracted by your comments, even though I love them. Okay. You guys are awesome. So, what was I saying? The sniff test. Oh, you know what it really tastes like? I don't know if any of you are hippy dippy and hipster, that's the word I was looking for, enough to ever go to those like very, very overpriced juice bars where you're like, oh yeah, I'd love to spend $7 for a juice made of like almonds and grind up dates and call it a treat. I've done that on occasion. And it's actually really good if you get like the chocolate flavored ones or the coconut one, whatever. You could make it really good. And that's kind of what this tastes like. It's different and I think way better than the store-bought stuff. And I'll flip on the comments again in a second, but I'm just going to go through and answer the questions. There was a couple people that reached out, which made me feel really special and important. So thanks, guys. With specific questions they wanted me to cover. So Sarah asked, if you reduce regular milk, what foods are good to ensure you're getting enough calcium? are all dairy products included? Meaning, is there a difference between milk and cheese and yogurt? Or should I reduce it all if I'm having those issues? Okay, so that's a really good question. So some other forms of calcium, if you're concerned about that, the truth is that dark green vegetables have a ton of calcium, and actually nuts do too. So if you're replacing it, especially with a homemade almond milk, that's pretty good. But I always encourage everyone, more green vegetables is always better. You can't go wrong. I mean, I guess you could go wrong if you do too many of anything. So I take it back. Anything can go wrong. But in general, you know, if you're adding in, if you're having broccoli at least once a day, or kale, or green beans, or string beans, that's the same thing as green beans, isn't it? Or spinach, or whatever. I mean, vegetables are really rich in vitamins and minerals, so I wouldn't be too worried if you can add in some more grains. The other question was, Daniela asked, I found that living in the States, dairy products are not good for my system. Are Greek yogurts any better, or is it just advertising and it's just the same crap? She did say crap, I said that. Can edit me out. So now what's interesting is she said in the States, because she's not from the US, and what she's saying is that where she's from, the dairy feels good, but here it feels bad, right? So that goes very in line to what I was saying at the beginning of the live. For those of you who joined a little later, you can rewind when we're over. That basically the way that the cows are treated has a profound impact on the quality of the milk. And for example, like cows that eat a lot of grass, their fatty acid profile is more similar to fish, because grass, right, it's green, it has a lot of, like, the fat has a lot of omega-3s, versus cows that are eating corn and soybeans, which both have a lot of omega-6s and a little bit of omega-9s, their fat is a lot more of omega-6s, which causes a lot more inflammation. So that, I said at the beginning, essentially, like, I don't think you can even really compare, I don't think you can really even call them both dairy. Like, they're such different foods depending on how the cows are treated. So in other countries, I'd like to think in most other countries, but I don't think it's most, but in a lot of other countries, they do treat their cattle better. And so their dairy will be better. Regarding once you're in our country or wherever you are, if you find that the dairy is giving you trouble, yes, different forms do better and worse. So if it's, in general, whatever something that your great grandmother would used to do, that was a really hard sentence to say, sorry. So for example, yogurt for a lot of people is much easier to digest than plain milk. And even better than that would be like a blue cheese, if you can handle that. Like, I like it, but whenever I have it, my kids say that I'm having a feet salad because I put it on salad. Because it smells like feet, they think. Guess where they got that? The answer is my husband. He also calls it feet salad. And like feta cheese also works really well for most people that can't handle regular dairy. When I say regular, I mean just like whether it's just plain milk, or even like, you know, cheddar cheese, but just again made with regular. Did I lose you guys? My phone started to ring. I forgot to put my phone on silent or whatever, I guess. I don't know, don't disturb. If they call back, it might happen again. Anyways, so you can try those things. So basically like the artisan cheeses, the fancier cheeses, usually people handle much better. So I'm gonna swipe the questions if you guys got any more questions. I don't think you did. If anyone, Rachel said grass-fed milk tastes so much better too. Yes, it does. It tastes very different. My kids can taste the difference totally. And the other thing that happens with it, Shira, the pretty bowl of my dreams. Okay. I have to turn off the comments because I can't think and talk at the same time. It doesn't work. What was I saying? Oh, the grass-fed milk. It tastes better. Often, you know, the organic stuff is a lot better. And if you can source, and that's a huge point, if you can get a good, trustable, healthy, safe source of raw milk, then raw milk is also fantastic. If you can't verify that it's a safe source, meaning that they're taking excellent care of their animals, then I would never, right? Because they're not pasteurizing it. But again, pasteurizing really is only necessary if they're taking terrible care of their animals, and that's when the milk has all the problems to begin with. But one of the things that happens with that is that one of the reasons that dairy is so hard to digest, especially just the plain milk, is that the milk molecules are actually pretty fragile. And so when they're pasteurized, they get, like, it's a really high, it destroys the molecules. That's one, so then our body sees it as a toxin. So that's one of the reasons that that happens. Anyways, I hope this was helpful and informative. And if you guys have any more questions, you can post them below. And hello, so exciting. I got so many people on this one. And how much do you like my lipstick? Hello, I don't know if I have the audacity, I was going to say something else, to wear it in public, but for you guys, I felt comfortable. I feel like Barbie with my bright pink lips. I found it in my drawer. I don't know where it's from. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.